Ron Rivera came out the other day and announced that rookie quarterback Sam Howell will start for the Commanders in the regular season finale against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm really excited to see what Sam Howell does in his NFL debut. He was a 5th-round selection last year by the Commanders in the 2022 NFL Draft. His final season at North Carolina tanked his draft stock because before the 2021 season kicked off for North Carolina, many draft experts and analysts had him being one of the first players coming off the board in many preseason mock drafts. He had a fantastic first 2 years at North Carolina. His freshman season, he threw 38 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. His 2022 campaign at North Carolina was pretty good as well. 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And he was one of the best quarterbacks not only in the ACC, but in all of college football. So there was a lot of hype and high expectations for Sam Howell and the Tar Heels going into the 2021 college football season. Now, unfortunately, his 2021 season was not that good, but I don't really think it was because of him taking a step back. I still think he was pretty good. It's just that the supporting cast around him wasn't good. North Carolina in 2021, they lost a lot of talent from their previous year's team. Not to mention the offensive line was awful. Sam Howell was sacked more times his final season at UNC than he was his 2 seasons at North Carolina. But you did see how good of an athlete he was when it came to his ability to run the football. He had 828 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground. Not to mention, coming out of high school, he was the 3rd best dual threat quarterback in the top 100 player in his recruiting class. So this is a insanely talented quarterback that the Washington Commanders are going to be starting against the Dallas Cowboys. This isn't one of your late round quarterback selections that has average, below average arm strength and needs a lot of time to develop. Like Sam Howell is somebody that if you give him a talented team with some good receivers, a legitimate run game, he can have success. In Washington, people look at them as if they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. I feel like the Commanders were truly a quarterback away from being a playoff team this season. You look at how Carson Wentz performed against the Cleveland Browns, 3 interceptions, bruh. If Sam Howell plays in that game or Taylor Heinicke plays and has no turnovers, I'm pretty confident the Commanders win that game. So if Washington can get a little something out of Sam Howell, and he can end up winning the starting job if they don't decide to bring in some competition and he plays well enough that they have confidence to move forward with him as the starting quarterback next season. I think that the Commanders could do some damage with Sam Howell at the helm under center. You got Jahan Dotson, one of the best rookie wide receivers from this season. You got Terry McLaurin. You got Antonio Gibson. You also have Brian Robinson, who's been one of the best rookie running backs in the league. The offensive line hasn't been that great, but I think that there is enough talent there for Sam Howell to have a pretty good NFL debut against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I know that Dallas does have one of the best defenses in the NFL, but this was the same Dallas Cowboys defense that got carved up by Joshua Dobbs on Thursday Night Football for the Tennessee Titans. And you got to remember that the Tennessee Titans had just signed Joshua Dobbs not too long ago. Now, I know Dallas Cowboy fans are going to be like, well, JT, we didn't have any film on him, so we weren't able to prepare for him properly. Well, I mean, you don't really have any film on Sam Howell. And although he is a rookie quarterback going against a fantastic defense, that doesn't mean that he can't have a great performance. This Washington Commanders team, I'm trying to tell you guys, with this defense and the talent that they have on the offensive side of football at skill position, Sam Howell can do some damage. And he had a really fantastic preseason, as a matter of fact. Like, I thought that Sam Howell should have been starting sooner this season than what he is right now with the Commanders. This is someone who has a fantastic arm. He has the ability to throw the ball off platform. So if you can get him outside the pocket, he can do a lot of damage. Inside the pocket, he's not too bad, even though he does have the tendency to hold on to the ball a little too long, and he can be a little bit of a gunslinger at times. But I think for the Commanders, I think they're actually going to get a pretty good performance out of Sam Howell. Now, I'm not expecting him to come out on fire and light the world on fire, but I do think that Sam Howell can give the Washington Commanders a good enough performance that will have them thinking, okay, do we have something in this guy moving forward going into the 2023 offseason? Now, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, what are you expecting out of Sam Howell? Well, he is a rookie, and plus the coaching for Washington hasn't been all that great, so you're going to have the opportunity to force turnovers. He is a player who can be a little reckless at times with the football, but you do have somebody who is a fantastic athlete when he decides to tuck and run with the football. He's not one of those run-first quarterbacks. This is somebody who goes through his progressions pretty well. He comes off that third read, and if nobody's open, then he decides to opt to go and run. So for the Dallas Cowboys, if you can get a good pass rush on them and you flush him out of the pocket, if you don't have a quarterback spy, or you don't account for this guy's scrambling ability, he's going to carve you up and he's going to make you pay big time. And this isn't a marginal athlete. Sam Howell, he can move. He ain't Lamar or Kyler Murray, but this guy has some will. So you give this guy a little bit of green grass, he's going to eat you up on the ground. So if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I definitely think that you shouldn't overlook Sam Howell getting the nod at quarterback for the Commanders. This is a pretty talented quarterback, and as I said earlier, I'm not expecting him to have a godlike performance in this game. The Commanders do have enough talent that I think he should be able to at least play better this week than how Carson Wentz did last week against the Cleveland Browns. I mean, Carson Wentz had some really boneheaded interceptions in that game that kind of made you think he was a rookie. So I think that Carson Wentz is going to have a pretty good performance in this game. If you're a Commanders fan, you can definitely expect a guy who is going to be really dynamic. He's going to be able to extend plays, break out of a couple of sacks. So I'm expecting a pretty good performance out of Sam Howell making his NFL debut against the Dallas Cowboys.